indie game fans, many of you will know that I'm a huge fan of pixel art for its versatility, timeless look, and how developers are using the medium to push art forward. So here's a look at 10 more upcoming pixel art indie games for 2019 and beyond. Before you comment on missing games, do check out the previous videos which I will link below. VirtuaVerse is a point-and-click adventure game set in a neon-soaked cyberpunk world. In this particular scenario, society has migrated into a permanently integrated reality connected to a single neural network, i.e. the VirtuaVerse, and everyone sees in AR, where this experience is continually being updated according to your own personal data collected. Playing as Nathan, an outsider who refuses to fall in line with this, his customized headset allows him to see through the falsities of this augmented reality, and his journey to find his missing girlfriend makes him encounter both a hacker group and a guild of AR technomancers. With the upcoming release of Cyberpunk 2077 and the current state of world affairs, this may just be the game to ride that wave of momentum in exploring what is traditionally quite a fascinating setting. I'm quite impressed by the level of detail that goes into these scenes, which, combined with the art direction and font choice, really does make it seem like a throwback experience. The follow-up to Retro City Rampage, Shakedown Hawaii, is an open-world action game where you try to build a legitimate corporation, in quotes, through white-collar crimes and good old shakedowns. This and their previous title most certainly have that GTA influence, and while Retro City Rampage has that 8-bit look, Shakedown Hawaii leans into the 16-bit, and man, does it look fantastic. Expect loads of open-world shenanigans, and one example of the dirty business in this game is burning down the local market in order to build a shopping centre to exploit the tourist market. The action looks fun and intense, while the writing has a level of parody and satire which I appreciate. ITTA is a bullet hell action game where you play as a young girl accompanied by a ghost cat and have to vanquish nightmarish bosses using an arsenal of guns at the end of the world. Inspired by The Legend of Zelda and Titan Souls, this also gives me a little bit of that Hyper Light Drifter vibe. While the pixel art doesn't pop as much as some of the other titles, This shares a look with the aforementioned Hyperlight Drifter as well as Moon Hunters, which is a little muted and I think can be attributed to the lack of distinct outlines for the characters. Nevertheless, if you love bullet hells or challenging games, this should be out later this year. Joy Masher is a Brazilian indie developer with a love of all things retro, with Elysis the Dark Call and Oniken being two of their larger releases thus far. While their current focus seems to be on the upcoming Blazing Chrome, Moonrider is a side project that I certainly hope to see the light of day, playing as a ninja robot that dispatches foes with punches and kicks. I absolutely love the retro look of this, and as an added bonus, this is inspired by Shinobi, Strider, and Hagane as well. Love to see the ninja game make a comeback, so I'm excited for this. Evans Remains is a puzzle platformer where you play as a young girl named Elysis who is looking for the titular character Evan. I was very impressed with the pixel art and colour palette chosen, really giving off that tropical island vibe, with beautiful sandy beaches, the distant forest and city in the background, and perhaps most gorgeous of all, the use of sunlight. While the deluge of puzzle platformers in recent years has somewhat diminished my interest in them, I'll make an exception for this since it is very pretty and I'm keen to check it out. Hunt the Night was one of the inspirations for this video since this is an action-adventure game which I came across while browsing Kickstarter. Taking place in a dark fantasy world with inspiration from Dark Souls and The Legend of Zelda, face challenging bosses and hunt hideous creatures while tapping into your own dark side as well. The action-adventure RPG like Crosscode is a genre which I am fond of due to the action, puzzles, boss fights, the storytelling, basically all the crucial foundational blocks of a great game. The gothic fantasy world in Hunt the Night is right up my alley, with a distinct style and visual look where you can explore locations like ancient cathedrals, floating cities, and even moving trains. There is an upgrade system for each weapon and skill, adding variety and progression to the game, And with both melee and ranged attacks, including guns and magic, there should be plenty of options for slaying some demons. This has been fully funded with about 15 days to go on the campaign, so we should be seeing this in October next year. Witchmarsh is a long-in-development title which was successfully kickstarted way back in 2014, so almost 5 years as of recording. While most people, reasonably so, are worried about the development, the latest update was in February this year, so it does show signs of life. Set in 1920s Massachusetts, create and manage a team of paranormal investigators to find and return 12 missing people who vanished under mysterious circumstances in this story-driven supernatural mystery action RPG. I like that it is set during the peak of the jazz age and the swing music soundtrack, and of course, the investigative portions, combat and sweet pixel art are pluses as well. Looking forward to this, but we'll see on the release date. Elysis is a working title of an in-development action-adventure game which I stumbled upon on Twitter since the developer does some great pixel art. The main aim of the game is to provide satisfying exploration and combat, which, based on the gameplay footage alone, does already look very good. The main hook here is weapon add-ons, which in the demo version alone already has 23 of these, which allow you to mod your weapons and give them different properties. Great sprites and pixel art, with a nice variety of enemies, and the slightly squished character model is rather endearing.
Lords of darkness, unholy princes in high places, hear us now and grant us.
Kingdom of the Night is another Kickstarter project which, as of recording, has been up for a day or so and is already 82% funded. Taking place in the 1980s, in a town invaded by demons, this certainly has a little bit of that Stranger Things vibe, but weirdly enough, has a modern character wielding a baseball bat, but at the same time has character classes like Rogue and Barbarian as well. mixing of a modern setting with fantasy is interesting, and I certainly want to see more. Of course, great pixel art, especially on the boss monster near the end of the trailer, so if nothing goes wrong, this is yet another October 2020 release. Finally, Faeland is a Metroidvania with also gorgeous pixel art. I love the blue skies and the rays of light permeating through the forest, as well as the level of detail, especially in the throne room scene shown off. Metroidvanias are perhaps my favorite genre, and in this, we have friendly NPCs in town, multiple weapon options which change your combat style, upgrades and abilities which unlock new areas, and seemingly fluid controls with backflips, ledge grabs, and more. Successfully kickstarted last year, there is an estimated release window of December 2019, so stay tuned to this channel and I will update you guys when this is closer to release. For more upcoming indie games, check out the previous video or click on the playlist and I will see you after the jump.